Kia ora, I am Marshal Vladimir, and welcome to Vladimir Wargaming. This is Operation Watch on the Rhine, January 1939 turn for the common term. So the first thing that I had to do is a little bit of housekeeping, which my fellow colleagues have been talking about, and that is that I believe one of the Vichy French infantry is being removed and a French Foreign Legion is being placed in Vichy France, Vichy French Foreign Legion. If that is incorrect, let me know, but that's what I understood of the gist. And then the second thing is that there is as we move these on, that there is a D12 rolled by the USSR for the Axis alignment of Bessarabia. I don't believe anything in the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact takes away from this, but if I am wrong, please do let me know. So anyway, I'm going to start by doing that. The USSR is currently on 18 IPP. Yeah, that's what we got to last time. Lovely. The USSR is now in wartime. Excellent, we love that. Great, well that means that the USSR gets to roll for technology. But it's not our go yet. It's the CPC first. The Communist Party of China. Alright, so for their purchase, they're going to be spending 3 IPP and purchase 1 infantry. Now, we're going to start with our combat moves. So the first thing that's going to happen is that an infantry is going to move to Tibet. And then Communist China breaks the truce with our lovely allies. So there's now no units in Xikang, so there's not going to be any combat there. This unit from Singhai's an infantry is going to Xinjiang to attack it. We're leaving behind 2 infantry in Singhai. 1 infantry is moving into Suyan. 2 mountain infantry. 2 cavalry, of course. And then that's 4 infantry. I'm going to leave 1 infantry there. So 4 infantry, 2 mountain infantry, and 2 cavalry are attacking the 2 Japanese cavalry in Suyan. Excellent. Okay, well, we've now got to roll our combat moves, so let's grab some dice. Oh, where's a black one? So that's because the cavalry obviously don't suffer the attack weakness. No, the cavalry do, so they're down to 2, and the mountain infantry don't suffer the attack weakness. We've got 4, which are at the 2, which are going to be represented by that. And then these are going to be the Japanese. The Dadao. No, sorry, the Japanese. So they are at 2 as well, because they're cavalry defending. And then there are 4 at 1, which are the black. And there are... Let's move that. And then there are 4 at 2, which are the red. So that is 1 hit. No hits. No hits. That's a miss. That's a hit. That's a miss. Just gonna leave these dice here for anyone else who wants to use them. But both of the Japanese cavalry have now been removed. Suyan has been liberated for our great Communist Party. I believe Sikang now comes under KMT control. If I'm incorrect, and KMT has to capture it on their turn, that change can be made by someone else, but I'm not going to worry about that. And then those territories are captured by CPC. So now we're going to change the state of that to 2 because of the militia upgrade. And we're going to place our own infantry in Shensi. So we're basically replacing a militia upgrade and an infantry in Shensi. And that will end the CCP turn. We've just got to account for our recruitment roll, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So this CCP recruitment roll is this turn at a 5. That is a 3, which is brilliant. We are going to place 1 infantry. Oh, sorry. What that is. Nope. The state's at a 3. For the CCP, and that ends their turn if they don't collect income, which is going to knock we get 3. Maybe that's our bonus. Wait, or does this do it? Is this scripted? Anyway, we are now at 3 IPP, and I believe we need to be connected by rail. To connect to the Soviet-possessed home country by undamaged railroad since the beginning of the player turn. We are obviously not eligible for this, so we just end with 3 IPP. Brilliant. That ends the CPC's turn. Huh, I didn't know that income here was scripted. That's pretty cool. We now get to roll our own income increase. Nope. For the USSR. Hopefully this is moderately better than our tech roll. Not our tech roll, then our last one. So that's 19 to what was it? 23. Most excellent. And the USSR, for the first time in the game, gets to roll for tech rolls. Now we had upgraded our Stalingrad factory. So that's 4 tech rolls, and because, as our lovely brothers in Germany, who we all love so much now, can attest, we have signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, we can now roll 5s. Okay. So, strategic rockets. Strategic rockets and jet fighters. Sorry, I only thought about tech rolls once I started recording. Jet fighters and strategic rockets. Excellent. Improve factories. Is that a prerequisite for the T-34? Nope. T-34 must be placed into every current country. Available after developing improved factories. Improved factories. We're going to go for we should have a tick roll. We should have a tick chart here. Hold on. This is the entire rulebook. Can we change the page? Technologies, here we go. Fusion session, minor factories, reduce damage. We might go here. Improved logistics. +1 rail movement, +1 supply routes. May move factories in home country. Interesting. Smooth. Okay. So we've got those two. We're going to go for long-range aircraft and let's go for advanced mechies. Okay, advanced mechies, that's a 10. 5 for improved factories. Jet fighters 7, which is a failure. That is long range aircraft stage 1 and strategic rockets stage 1. Oh. What a shame about those jet fighters, but anyway. The Soviet Union now gets to make a purchase of their own, which of course includes a land-based supplies for our international red aid, and we're also going to just grab we want, what was that, a Soviet Eagle? It's 5, and let's grab just a normal infantry as well for a total of 8. That's the Soviet purchase. Okay, so now for Soviet combat moves, okay, we are going to be moving into some areas here. We get an infantry, and the majority of the 74th Armored Group So one motorized infantry is moving into, what's that? Podlakia? One motorized infantry is just moving to southern Belarusia. But other than that, plus that infantry, the 74th Armored Group is now attacking Lubleske. Along with the majority of the Soviet Air Force. So what's that grouping button that people have? Anyway, I'll have a look at this isn't the time to look at the shortcuts. But that's going into that zone. These two infantry. No, that's not combat move, but I'm just doing it now. And then we had one infantry in northern Belarusia that's moving, and one infantry in Estonia that's moving. That is Soviet combat moves. Okay. No river penalty. And light armor are currently attack 4, or they attack 3. I think they're, yeah, attack 3. These darker units are going to be our attack 3 units. Those are our attack 2 units. And then we'll just roll our aircraft later if we are required to. It looks like we are not required to. That's one loss, which is going to be our infantry. And both of those units are now removed. The 74th picked up. Block. Okay. Then the Soviet Air Force, the medium bomber is going to land in Smolensk. But the others went 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're landing in Belarusia. Actually, they're all just going to land together. Those, I'm going to leave one behind. Railing one unit, and then we're going to rail another to Karelia. So we now have 4 infantry in Karelia. Oops, sorry, we're going to rail from Stalingrad instead. Instead, the infantry from Moscow is moving there. That ends the Soviet movement phase, I believe. I'm just going to move our militia. Oh, flip. Sorry, we did have an intended purchase. I know this doesn't affect anything in my turn, but it shows the problem with not planning out your purchases beforehand. The Soviet Union did want to make a purchase of a railroad across into Xinjiang. My apologies, that's an extra 4 IPP, I believe. Yeah. That was a bit sloppy of me, but I'm just going to include that. We're going to place it along with the rest of the purchases. The supplies are being sent, which we should have our marker for our red aid. That was, of course, the whole purpose of that movement. Then we're going to replace both of these units in. We're going to place our airborne in Smolensk and both of our infantry in Leningrad. These 2 units are removed, of course. That pretty much ends the Soviet turn. We haven't captured any territories with an IPP value. And we're on 23 IPP, which of course makes this 43. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact has been signed. The Chinese truce was signed, but is now broken. The Soviet turn is over, and we'll pass it on to Yard Dog with Japan. And just a brief note that we do apologize for the lateness of. I apologize for the lateness of the turn. It just took me a while. Been really busy at work, so found the time and just had to do some reading up on the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact and other changes in V4. And while I'm yapping, I realized I haven't done Mongolia's recruitment roll. That's a 6, which is a fail. Thank you for watching.